What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the stream, which this is going to be very interesting here. Just getting my chat box back up so I can see what everyone is saying. All right, so welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome back to the V1 Simulations channel here, where we are in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Now, we are overcoming hurdles like you wouldn't believe. We're trying to make sure the internet is stable, which so far I think it is doing okay. I'm not showing any bad stutters, so that seems to be okay right now. However, the reason that this was delayed is because Microsoft decided to push an update literally as I started Flight Sim, which is crazy because I was running Flight Sim, then I shut it off and I was going to restart it for the stream. And when I did that, it said updates available and you have to update it and blah, blah, blah. So it got the update done. The A320 Neo mod, I was running the stable version, which is safer for streams in my opinion, seems to have some issues, I think. We are going to try to go through this flight. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll either have to maybe pop into a caravan, do an old freight route, or just reschedule for a later time. So let's go ahead and get some welcomes there in chat. I mean, gosh, look at the lighting, though. I mean, just that shot right there. Max Rank, what's going on, man? You want to see the delayed posted at the airport? DMT Donuts, what's going on, man? Will Pine in the house as well. I think there's a couple of the Neo modders here. They mentioned in the chat that if I have the stable version, I am probably screwed because of this update. But the dev branch seems to be working, so not a big deal. I can probably re-download the dev branch, and then maybe we'll stream tomorrow if this does not work. Cartage Wall, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the house. Clear Direct, Fubar, Flying Guitarist Sam, Dougal McTavish, what's up, man? Good to see you here. Stream looking good there. That's good. That's good. Stream seems to be healthy. Dropped frames seem to be minuscule today, which I don't understand, man. When I do test streams, I did 2 test streams, and I didn't drop a single frame. Everything was fine and dandy, but it's I think it's just the nature of the beast living out here in the rural Texas of the United States of America. Just hard to get the good internets. So let's jump into this, guys. Too late, mods broken, David Tang says. Let's hop into the cockpit and see. I already saw some sketchy stuff here on the overhead. I've got lights on that aren't supposed to be on. Maybe it's just the default plane now. We're going to push through it. We're going to get our batteries on. And let's just go ahead and get external power on. We'll get our nav lights on. And right away, all of our screens come up. So the mod is technically broken then because we don't have to input anything. We don't have to line anything. But maybe the airplane still flies. So why don't we let's just roll with it. Oh, brightness is kind of, yeah, brightness still works. That's good. We're just going to roll with it. We're going to see what happens. This flight may end in disaster. It may end in victory. We will find out. But I'm glad to have you all along for the ride. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn the screens on. It is a shame that it's not working properly because the gentlemen that have been working on this project, the fly-by-wire project, they've accomplished a lot in just a very short amount of time. So I will be sure to revisit the fly-by-wire mod. We will do another stream with it, and we'll go over the proper mod. Just unfortunate that we don't have that working for us today. No fault to them. Blame it on Microsoft. It was all Microsoft's fault. So we're just going to have to go with it from here. Max Rank says the gang is all here. Meek, what's up, man? Says good morning, Cap. Hope all is well. All seems to be okay right now. I'm nervous, man. I gotta say, I've been nervous after that last stream was such a cluster. I really was thinking that, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was pretty heartbroken. So we're trying a couple things. Let's see. I'm trying to remember a ground service. It's weird. I gotta call ground to. Let's go ahead and connect the jetway. I'll tell you this right now. You call LA ground to connect to jet bridge, you are going to get laughed at on frequency. DMT Donut says fly-by-wire is the only reason I play Microsoft Flight Sim. I agree. So the only time that I get in Flight Simulator 2020 is to fly GA aircraft and to fly the fly-by-wire mod to see the development and then the progress of the airplane, because as a whole, the airliners and Flight Sim just aren't there for me. I'm not a fan of them. They might be fun for a certain part of the community, but my preference in airliners is not satisfied in Flight Simulator. However, GA aircraft are quite a lot of fun to fly, and there's no doubting that this sim looks Looks fantastic. So we'll get baggage connection as well.
Los Angeles ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320.
A320 Sim Pilot, what's up, man? Has the PFD reverted back to the original? Yeah, so the mod, I was running the stable mod. The stable mod apparently got a little borked there in the latest update. But no harm, no foul. We're gonna keep chugging along here. We're gonna see how far we can get. We're gonna set our cruise altitude, flight level 300. I guess we can kind of go over our flight plan here. Let's get the box loaded up here. We're going to go, or load it as much as we can. I'm not going to do too much of a, oops, SFO to LAX. That's wrong. We're going LAX to SFO. There's not too much study level about this. Not in database, huh? Oh, really? LAX to SFO. Okay. This could be a very interesting flight here. Let's see what happens. All right, I guess it's not in database. What did you know? Flight plan is not even really loaded. What is going on, man? We might have some issues here. That doesn't work. But our perf numbers are in. What if we do a flaps 1 takeoff? And the flight plan's in the box. I saw it looks like we're flaps 1, flex 20. We're not going to do that, though. Can we clear out a flex? It doesn't even let you do that. So we're just going to go Toga anyway. But our V-speeds are in there. Maybe we can change something up top here. Yep, that's all borked there. Let's get our fuel pumps on anyway. Let's get the APU running. Let's see what we can do, what we can't do. Everything's faulted out there. Jack Mackey says, first time catching the stream. Man, I apologize that the first time catching a stream we have to go through this. Yeah, so all the switches are in op as well. So apparently the mod is completely borked. So that leaves us with the old school, pretty much just looks like the default FS 2020 Airbus. So we'll get the APU fired up here. Navy Land Sub Gaming. What's going on, man? $5 bomb. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. He says, long-time viewer, first time catching you live. Really excited. Well, I'm glad you're excited, man. I hope this live stream will be exciting for you. We're going to see what happens here. I was really hoping we'd have that mod working, but Clear Direct Food Bar says, just follow the roads, V1. So we're just going to follow the roads. We have an APU spool-up sound. Looks like they closed the baggage door there. Not running any liveries. I just I didn't want to download 4 gigs of liveries because I don't really fly airliners in Flight Sim 2020 yet. So once we get some more study level aircraft, or as the mod progresses, I probably will start downloading liveries. Go to init, press clear a couple times, and then enter LASFO again. All right, we'll try that again. Sounds like the APU is spooling up. Last reverb, hi there, have a good stream. Thanks, man, appreciate it. We're definitely going to try. Quick Direct Fubar says, ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain. Do any of you have a map of Western United States? We're going VFR today. Hey, if we got to go VFR, we're going to follow the coastline up. We're going to do it, man. We're going to get this bird in San Francisco one way or another. This might be one of the most interesting streams yet. Smooth Flying says, hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right, man. Hope you're doing good. All right, sounds like the APU is spooling up there. So the overhead, whoa, what happened to my mouse? My mouse is like really messed up. Okay, APU seems to be pretty much spooling up. We're going to go ahead and get the APU bleed on. And why did my mouse axis get reversed? That's kind of weird. All right, let's go ahead and request jetway disconnection, and then we'll go over a couple of that init thing again. Do you, Blockbuster says, do you recommend to become a pilot in like 7 years with the consequences of COVID? So here's the thing, man. With COVID, I think that eventually the airline system is going to pick back up. It's just a matter of time, right? So it's tough to say. Nobody knows. If we knew, we probably wouldn't even be working if we knew the answers to all those questions. But I firmly believe the airline industry will pick back up here at some point. Now, it depends on where you are in the world, what country you live in. There's going to be a lot of different situations that conform. Yeah, none of our status pages work here, so Engine page, APU page. Yeah, that's a shame because the fly-by-wire mod actually has a lot of those status pages working. They're actually quite nice. So we'll get our flight directors on, and that seems to be good. Now we need to come back down here to the init page here. Let's see. So init, hit clear a couple times. Clear, 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 and let's try this again. LAX to SFO. Not in database. Really? Can we do cost index input? Probably not, because it's not init. Our flight plan doesn't even show in there, but when we go direct, it shows our flight plan. Oh boy. Alexander says, when in flight, do not click the VFR map as the sim will crash. Really annoying bug happened to me a couple times. We'll make sure we won't do that. Oh boy. Do Microsoft database updates match the current? I believe it does. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they have an automatic update system. Wow. Okay, so we're not going to be able to knit. We may be SOL, guys. Don't even have a flight plan. Can you comment on lower ECAM pages, please? I'm working on an A318 project. Well, the lower ECAM pages don't really work unless you have the mod. We got the fuel page there. But that's pretty much it. Hard to comment on something like this. Did you put in the departure and arrival in the menu? Yes, I did. So let's just double check here. Where are we going? Fuel? No, I don't want that. Travel to, VFR map, weather. Nav log. Well, you know what? Let's just give it a full send, guys. I mean, the flight is in the box. The flight plan is in the box there. So we can go plan mode. Gosh, this mouse control is driving me nuts. Oh, I can't step through it in there, but it's in the box. Oh, boy. Well, what the heck. Let's get a pushback. Let's see what we can do. Welcome to Flight Simulator 2020. Go back to clearance. Sure, let's request an IFR clearance. See what happens. DarrenAllen says, good to see you back, everyone. Man, I'm trying. I am trying. Wojtek, what's up, man? It says, hey, V1, but it looks pretty. Yeah, it does look pretty.
Takeoff runway 25 right, climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure frequency is ONA 24.3 squawk 2467.
Ryer. I don't know if I go through these steps, maybe maybe the airplane will behave. We'll see. Have I tried the flights? The citation? I have. The performance is pretty exaggerated, so I haven't really been flying it. The only airplanes I fly in Flight Sim 2020 are the Caravan and the Baron, and the 172. Now I'm really looking at getting that Mooney just because I want more round gauges. All right, let's go back to ground, and let's see what happens. Oh, I guess I should have pushed back first. Fake news. We're not ready to taxi.
Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 taxi to and hold short of runway 25 right using taxiway Charlie 8 Charlie Charlie 1 Bravo Bravo 1. Contact tower on
That's actually a proper taxi clearance. That's proper. That's what we get a lot of times if you come out of the Charlie 8 alley up here where we are in LA. It is Charlie Charlie 1 Bravo all the way down. All right, we'll acknowledge, and then we got to get it pushed back.
Taxi to and hold short runway 25
XP72, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you, stream dude. Says welcome back. We missed you. Hey, man, I missed you guys a ton. Man, just internet gremlins. It's just the price you pay living out here a little bit more rural. So some days it works fine. Some days it does not work. And today I can see I've already dropped more frames than I have in any of my previous test streams. So we'll see. If it gets worse, we might just have to reschedule the stream, get the proper mod, and then give it a shot. Maybe tomorrow morning. But good to see you around XP72. If you guys haven't already, check out XPlane1972. Fantastic streamer. I've been following him. I hang out there quite a bit sometimes. Haven't recently just because I've been pretty busy. But I do love to hang out and just watch XP stream. And a lot of good times, good communities got going over there. I see the merch out there too, XP. I like the merch. I'm going to have to get myself one of those hats. Take it on one of my pre-flights. Timothy Gould, what's up, man? It says, hey, V1, do you know if Microsoft Flight Sim is out or been released for Xboxes? I do not know for Xboxes. I do not know. Looks like we're pushing back with the parking brake set, so that's interesting. We'll go ahead and release the brakes. I feel like my mouse axes are backwards. You see how my camera spins around? Let me try reset to... There we go. Let's see. There we go. That seems better. We're just going to push straight back because trying to turn this pushback truck is pretty interesting. I've gone tail into the terminal more than once. We can make a turn out from here.
Los Angeles ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 requesting the end of pushback.
Team Vodka says I'll have to reschedule that fiber delivery. You got it, man. You got it. All right. Well, I guess we're not doing any proper comms there. Brake set, clear to release. All right. Let's go ahead and fire it up, guys. We've got the fuel page up, which is improper, but hey, this is a default airplane, essentially. This is not the fly-by-wire mod. If you have the fly-by-wire mod, it is much more realistically simulated. As you can tell, you can't even align your ADIRs or any of that stuff. But it's all in good fun. Oh my gosh, we can't even crank engines. Or can we? I can't turn the ignition switch, but I can crank it with the ignition switch off. Is it spooling up? I think it is. N2's on the rise. Wow, we're starting with the ignition switch off. It sure looks pretty, guys. Just keep telling yourself that. It sure looks pretty. Oh, man. Tiago, what's up? I'm new to this channel. Hey, man. Good to see you. Normally, for everybody that's just tuning in, normally this channel I like to do pretty in-depth realistic simulation. Unfortunately, at the start of this stream, there was an update that pretty much disabled the fly-by-wire mod for the default 320. So we're pretty much stuck with a default 320 instead of the fly-by-wire mod, which makes it much more realistic. So we're going to just try to get this airplane to San Francisco just because we're all here. We're hanging out. We're going to see what happens. But I do apologize if you came here expecting some study level streaming. It's going to be hard to accomplish, I think, for sure. Dave says the pushback's so bad I use it as an excuse to power back. Oh, man. Let me turn up the audio a little bit for you guys. Is it even lighting off? I don't think it's going to start, guys. Because it's only in crank mode. Only in crank mode. Interesting. If we can't start engines, we may be totally toasted here. Let's see. Yeah, I can't move this switch at all. You know what? Let me try to hijack it here. Let's see if we can connect. Oh, I was hoping I could connect ground air or something. I guess I can't do that. Oh boy, we are going to be screwed, I think, guys. Let's go ahead and fire engine 2. Let's see if we can get engine 2 to light off. It's spooling up, but it's just cranking. We're actually not getting ignition. Well, that says ignition. Let's see what happens. We got N2s on the rise. No fuel. That's a problem. But that shouldn't be there yet anyway. Bleed valve is open. It's getting bleed pressure. There's our fuel flow. Curtis says, shall we say the bourbon did it? Hey, man, no bourbon this morning. No bourbon this morning. We're full-blown coffee mode. Hey, Miss Junkles, remember when I said ask me how I'm doing about 5 minutes from when you asked me? If you were to ask me again, I would say not so hot this morning now. Yeah, we're not going to be able to start engines, guys. Look at that. It's just locking in at 25. It's actually motoring with fuel, which is interesting. We shouldn't have a fuel flow there, but I mean, it is motoring. You can't really fault them for that. Well, we might be dead in the water. We might be dead in the water. Control E. Control E. Control E for the win. I'm doing Control E. Nothing. What if I shut it back off? We've got our fuel pumps on. The crossfeed's open. That's kind of weird. Pumps are on. It's getting fuel. It's just not getting fire because the start mode selector is in crank, which that means there's no spark. Let's try to Control E. Let's see if that does it. So Control E flipped both switches forward. Might be time for a caravan run. Oh yeah, fine. Switch to GA. We might be. Oh wait a second. Oh no, nope. It's just into. I'm not getting any light off though. Well, hold on. 1.6. We're getting. I think we have light off, ladies and gentlemen. We got the EGT on the rise. Would you look at that? Control E for the win. Control E for the win. What's up, Slant Cannon? Oh man, look at all the silver stripes in chat. Man, oh man, I like seeing those silver stripes, guys. Awesome. XP says open developer menu and reload airplane. It will restart with engines running. Ah. All right, well that's good to know in the future. I know XP. I know you've been running this Flight Sim 2020 quite a bit over there on your channel. I'm having a hard time, man. GA, I'm okay. I love flying in GA in this sim, but unless you're flying the fly-by-wire mod, not much airliner-wise that I can really get into. But I tell you what, it is one beautiful sim. Look at that. All right, we have got engines started. Flaps 1. We're going to leave that in crank mode. Spoilers arm. Rudder trim reset. APU can come off. Taxi light on. We're going to 2-5 right. Let's get out of here. We've got thrust lever, SRS. Let's see if I can reset the FCU. I doubt it. Nope, we're still in speed mode. SRS nav. We'll see what happens. This could be an interesting takeoff, but hey. Helps if you release the parking brake before you blast everybody behind you, and let's get out of here. Commander Junar says nothing to see here. Nothing to see here, man. Oh gosh, that's my fault. My rudder pedal slipped. I haven't fixed my rudder pedal situation yet. I've got them sitting on carpet, and they slide away from me. It's not very good. But I'll tell you, this, as much as I want to talk smack about the default airplanes, and this is, I'm not talking in regards to the fly-by-wire mod. We're going to do another stream with the fly-by-wire mod. In fact, I believe XP is streaming tonight with the fly-by-wire mod. You'll be able to, if you check out his channel, you'll be able to see how much of a difference it makes. But this sim looks so good. It really does. He said Charlie 1? Or Charlie 8 Bravo? I normally go Bravo. I'm going to go what we normally take. There's actually a really large bump here in real life coming across this taxiway. Simone Toomba, what's going on, man? How you doing? I'm doing better now that we got the engine started. As long as the internet holds strong for us, which I think it's doing okay. We've had a few drop frames, but all right, we are going. Here we go. Remember the Ring of Death and the Vista release. Oh, that's right. No bourbon today, folks. Watch this taxi. No bourbon, Slam Can. I don't think I put any in my coffee. I don't think so. Oh, boy. I guess I should post in the Discord that the stream is live, huh? I've been holding off on tagging everybody in the Discord, so if you're in the Discord, I apologize. You're about to get pinged. Just ping 1,700 people to send a message saying the stream is live. I was trying to hold off on it, make sure the stream was going to actually work. Hello from France. How's it going, man? Spirit must have gotten wide bodies because you see all those heavies in the yellow. I don't know what livery that is. I went to download the livery pack this morning, and it's like 600 liveries, 4 gigs. Jeez, guys. I'm working with 20 down here. I don't want to spend an hour downloading 600 liveries. I just want a few select liveries for the Airbus. Call it good. I dare you to take off of the taxiway. We're not going to do that. I don't know if we're even going to be able to take off on the runway the way this airplane is going to behave. 230 watching already. Jeez. Well, if you're just tuned in, guys, I know the title says that the A320 Neo mod, Microsoft's update just before the stream has borked that for me. I was running the stable version of the mod, so we are essentially flying a default 320, which is nowhere near as enjoyable as the mod. So I will revisit this stream. We'll probably do it maybe tomorrow or Thursday with the proper mod. I heard the dev version of the mod is working pretty good, so I can get that one. I normally just run stable everything as a content creator to try to minimize possible loose ends and things like that. But we'll get it working. We'll do another stream, and then I'll be able to give you a better opinion of the airplane. How's the internet working now? I don't know. You guys tell me. I've seen that we're 2.2% drop frames, so there's definitely been a few skips in there for you, which I can't wrap my head around, man. I did a test stream yesterday. It didn't drop a single frame. And I did a 2.5-hour test stream, and then I did another test stream last night. 0 drop frames. Get on this morning, and we're at 2.3% drop. So if it starts to get terrible like it did in our previous stream, I will terminate the stream. We'll reschedule, we'll get everything lined up again and give it another shot. 110 likes before wheels up. Wow, you guys are diehards, man. I appreciate that. Christopher Levin, what's up, man? He says, I love V1 Air. Bento box with sushi and dumplings, even in a coach. Excellent. You got it, man. It's okay. The title says A320 Neo no mod. Oh, okay, good. At least on my screen. All right, good. Don't worry about my taxi here at 50 knots. I just want to get to the end of the runway before my internet stops working. If anything, we'll have a good time. We'll have a good time this morning. I just hope the internet is watchable. I was so disheartened after the last stream, guys. I really was, and I've been trying to work on it and talking about it in my podcast that I'll probably finish up editing today. For those that are members of the channel, I do a podcast every month for all the members. And this one, I'm calling it off duty, and we're not following the normal guidelines. I'm just kind of getting some stuff off my chest to you guys and explaining some current situations. But the gist of it is I think I just got a little disappointed and disheartened in the situation with my internet, and I couldn't get the channel where I wanted it to go. So we're trying, though. We're not going to give up. We do not quit at the V1 channel. Jablino59, a $5 bomb. Thank you, man. He says, welcome back. Have a coffee on me. I appreciate that. I will definitely do that, my friend. I appreciate your donation. Thank you for the support. All right, let's go ahead and turn on to this runway. We're going to keep it rolling. I'm probably going to lose my rudder pedals here. Gotta hand it to Microsoft. I could at least move the light switches in the direction I want to. I don't have to click all the way through. Alright, let's take this runway here. Haven't taken off at LA thousands of times. I must say that the representation for a default airport in Flight Sim 2020, it is pretty darn good. A little bit of lag there. Terrible lineup. I'm going to readjust my rudder pedals again. Oh, let's do it. Let's spool it up 50%. And it's time for some yoga. Sounds aren't terrible. Alright, man, Toga SRS runway. Auto thrust is blue. 80 knots. Thrust set. Stick is neutral by 100. Wow, I'm over. My engines are temped out. Look at that. V1. Rotate. Can we rotate? I feel like I'm stuck to the ground. Wow. We are off.
Airbus 320, you are not cleared to take off.
Oh, that's my bad. I dare and try to engage the autopilot? Nope. Nope. Let's come back to our climb D10. We're going to have to do this all manual here. We're going to go thrust climb. I'm going to select speed 250. We'll start our right. Would you look at that? All right, we're not following the flight directors. Let's turn them off. And I just want to fly up the coast for a second here. I just noticed that our ND is not even properly working here. Can I do a heading? Okay, so heading bug 278 is over here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Alright, we're thrust climb, climb heading, going to 250 knots. We're pitching down. We're going to exceed, that's my bad. Let's see if it can respond. What would a real life pitch value be? 3 degrees per second. And right about, it depends on which airplane you're in, the 320. In climb out, I'd tell guys just park it right on top of the 10. So that's what, 12, 13 degrees pitch up attitude. That's good climb out attitude. On rotation, you're going to come up about 18 degrees or so. But for a nice climb out at 250 knots, if you park this square right on top of the 10, that's kind of what I'd tell you guys. I just park it on the 10. That'll give you a nice pitch for climb out. And this seems like it's coming down. It's going to be right about there. See that? Parked on the 10. We're in heading mode. We're going to fly to San Francisco in heading mode, guys. Never seen before. Real Airbus pilot flies from San Francisco, or from LA to San Francisco in heading mode. Godspeed. Curtis says we're going to need you to take down a number for that unauthorized takeoff. And Dimitri says setting the chrono in this thing is a moot point, I guess. Oh my gosh, it is. Wait, is Phantom P20 here? I thought I saw someone tagging. I thought I saw his name, maybe not. Okay, this is weird. So I'm scrolling my chat box, and it's also zooming my my flight sim. Interesting. Okay, guys, we have, look at this. We have no range on the ND. We have nothing here. Can I go to plan mode? All right, so we are literally gonna fly. There's 10,000 feet. We're gonna fly to San Francisco in heading mode. We're gonna go 320 knots in the climb out. We're on heading 278 up to flight level 300. We're at a 10,000 feet. Do my overhead lights still work? Yeah, look at that. Let's go ahead and turn off these speed brakes here. That's off, that's off. Wing light can come off. Seatbelt sign is not functioning. We don't need seatbelts here at V1 Air. Don't worry that we just leveled off, probably 0G'd the cabin as well, trying to accelerate, which not super realistic. Can I brighten these screens a little bit? Whoa, with the zoom there. All right, there we go, 320 knots, and it's pitching up. Now, hold your horses. Let me see if I can turn this flight director on. Look at that, flight director's on. A little VFR, never hurt anybody. How's the audio? Is it too loud for you? Oh, man. Sam Kenneth says, what if setting the chrono solves all the issues? That'd be something. Yes, there is a mod for the 32X, guys. If you're just tuning in now, I'm aware of the mod. The update just prior to the stream has borked the mod for me, the stable version of the mod. So we will revisit this airplane with the mod, proper mod, later this week. But I had everybody here, and let's have a little fun with it. We're going to follow the coastline up to San Fran. Dougal says, even if your zoom mouse on another screen, Microsoft Flight Sim still receives the messages. Oh man. How was the climb performance compared to the real thing? Well, let's take a look at it. So this actually isn't all that bad. We're doing 320 knots, 3,000 feet a minute. We're moderately loaded. We got 10,000. Oh, that's kilos. What's our gross weight? Why are we in kilos? 60 tons, 120. If I just times it by 3, roughly, right? So 120,000 pounds. We're heavy, but we're not that heavy. We got a lot more gas than we need, though. There's 17. We're just going to leave it in standard. Does this even work without? Yeah, it's set standard out of 18, so 17.4 standard set check. Chrono seemed to auto start, Dimitri, so I think we're good there. Hey, we are on our way. So let's see if we can. What if I direct? Try to clear this box up. I know Surfer is on the arrival, so what if I go Surfer, temporary direct? No. Uh-oh. My entire box is gone now. I have nothing in the box. Wow. Alright, so we have a dual latch failure in the Airbus. Any of my real Airbus drivers out there probably know what that is. Something you don't want to have happen, but we've had an FMGC failure. We're going to maintain VFR, squawk 1200, even though we're in the flight levels. Actually, you know what? Let's just set squawk on emergency, because we're an emergency aircraft. It would help turn the transponder on, too, right? Oh, can't move that one. In-op. Cool. All the equipment required for our VSM flights in-op. Not a big deal. I don't know why I keep messing with the range, but hey! We are on our way. Now, I think the map got fixed, right? So we might actually have to use the VFR map. Do I have any distance? No VOR distances are hard-tuned. Oh, jeez. Well, why don't we enjoy ourselves outside here? Let's find ourselves a nice, super zoomed-in wing view. I like this one, actually. I actually kind of like this wing view here. It looks pretty realistic. Is there wing flex on the 320? You know, I think there is. Maybe one of you guys can confirm that in the chat or not. I want to say there is, because I remember doing some aerial maneuvers during the testing, and I saw the wings flexing, if I'm not mistaken. We got a weird little flicker going on here. Commander says, pan. Cosmic says, at least this is good procedures practice. Well, you got that right, man. A lot of illegal procedures. V1, why are you flying the default bird instead of the fly-by-wire mod? So I launched Flight Sim before the stream, and it updated on me, and I borked the mod. So instead of waiting for a new mod to come out, we're just going to roll with it. We're going to adapt, improvise, adapt, and overcome. And we're going to hand fly a 320 from San Francisco. I keep saying from San Francisco. From LA to San Francisco. VFR at flight level 300 in heading mode without an FMGC or any navigational tools. It's going to be interesting. Time for some conventional nav. FMS seems foobar. You got that right. Why does it look like the ND is frozen? Because it is. The ND is 100% frozen. So the ND is frozen and the FMGC is frozen. But we're still climbing out in heading mode. We're doing all right. So let's look at the VFR map. Make sure... Hey, look at that, huh? So it actually did a direct. Look, I don't need no stinking GPS. We are in perfect heading mode to pick up the arrival. Now, it will get interesting when we have to try to descend and calculate all our distances for landing. That's going to definitely be interesting.
Ahead. Look,
Thank you for the subscribe there. Appreciate it, man. Didn't catch the name. MVD, I think. Appreciate the subscribe. I'm going to turn down just a little bit. And we are off. From San Francisco to San Francisco. That's what it feels like. Flying Guitar Sim says, clear direct destination. Can I get a heading to SFO? Yep. So there were a couple guys in the Discord last night that I joined. I think they were... Sam was there, a couple other guys there, and I joined the voice chat with them. And I was telling them a story when I was flying freight. A lot of times they would just say, hey, can you accept direct Wichita Falls? Or can you proceed direct Maverick? And being a freight dog in a Slant Alpha airplane, which if you're unfamiliar, Slant Alpha in the States anyway, is a very minimum equipment. Essentially you have ADF, NDB, DME, VOR, VOR. You don't have GPS, you don't have RNAV, you don't have any of that. So sometimes they forget, sometimes the controller forgets what you're filed as, or they don't see it on the strip. I'd say, yeah, I can accept Wichita Falls, but can I get a heading for 160 miles until I can pick up the VOR and pick up the radial? So we're just doing that. We're using a deer steer technique in heading mode. We'll be all right. Paul Schuthmus says V1 doesn't need any of these fancy electronic gadgets. You're right, man. We don't need any of them. Hey, if we crash and burn and we make it through the stream without dropping frames like crazy, I will still be happy just to be able to interact with you guys. It re-sparks my love for simming and hang out with you guys, because I got really disheartened after that last stream. I was like, what am I going to do if I can't get this internet to work, man? But just being able to be with you guys now is awesome. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the likes. I know a lot of you are hardcore. Okay, what is happening? Where are thrust levers coming back? Oh, everything's good. We're good, right? Yeah, we're throttling back. Look at that. We're leveling 300. Altitude heading mode. Perfect. So I know a lot of you guys, I come here for really in-depth content, and that's what I love providing. I love talking systems and study level stuff, but today it's a little different, so I appreciate you rolling with the punches. Christopher Levin, welcome to Commercial Pilot. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for joining the channel. Awesome, man. Awesome support. Thank you, Casey, for the subscribe. Is the 320 SimPilot still here? I have to ask him, man. You ever flown VFR in the 320 out there in Europe? I don't think I've ever. The only VFR flying I've done in the Airbus was we were leaving somewhere in South America where it's actually a VFR departure. And there's a bunch of stuff we have to do procedure-wise, but you depart VFR. But as far as doing any type of VFR flying at all, it's strictly prohibited per our SOPs. So I don't know, maybe if you have some special airports out there in Europe that allow you to do VFR flying. I don't know if Phantom's here. I wonder if he has any stories. Flight's going well, I see. It's Navy land sub. Hey, we don't need no VFR. We don't need no GPS, man. Good thing I picked a coastal route. What if we were having to fly from Dallas to Chicago or something without any FMC? That would be pretty hard. Does this haze look realistic? You know what, Dimitri? It really depends on the day. And being in California with the smog and everything, I really, I don't think it's unrealistic. I haven't flown out there yet. I know when the fires were burning like crazy, it was, I couldn't believe it, man. The haze, you were doing Cat 3 approaches into Oakland and San Francisco just because the smoke was so bad. But even LA got a little bit of it. My mom was flying into, was it Monterey? No. Gosh, I can't remember. One of the little airports there. Man, I can't think of I think it was Monterey. And she was in a CRJ, and they went around four times. And she was texting me. I don't know how she was texting me on the flight. It's like, what's happening? Well, the visibility is half mile, and they're trying to shoot an ILS in the CRJ. 320 SimPilot says no VFR, sadly. Not sure we are allowed with an airline operating certificate. Yeah, see, it's pretty strict all around. There's got to be some type of VFR stuff. Maybe up north in Canada, so those old 7.3s getting VFR, special VFR into those airports. But as far as airline flying go, it's really hard to. You're hard pressed to do any type of VFR flying and have to be a special permit, I would imagine. I know just taking off under that VFR rule, there's a lot of steps you have to follow. You have to you already have to establish communication with the center on the ground before taking off, and you got to do all these extra steps. And I think you can land VFR at one or two of the airports down there in South America too. I can't remember. I haven't done it. That's just how rare it is. It's kind of a seasonal thing. But Phantom 320, what's up, man? Good to see you, Phantom. Jeez, I feel like we haven't chatted in a long time. He says 0 VFR in the Airbus for me. Yeah, man. It's a pretty rare instance. I hope you're doing well, Phantom. I hope work is going well. Actually, have you been doing any control? Were you doing controlling during the fires? Were you guys smoked out where you were? Was there any visibility issues out there in Northern California? Kartik says Dallas to Chicago. Follow the freeways. Yeah. Yep. It's usually a bit grayer over SoCal. Yes, it is. Do you need some special additions to your license? Oh, that was important to me. That haze is not haze. It's lack of detail due to his system limitation. There might be. I'm running default high settings, but I know for the stream, for the bandwidth, I've dumbed down the output scaling to 720, which I don't know if that's an issue. I may be able to bump that back up because I think I have the bandwidth. I think what I was suffering the frame drop. I think that's. I don't know if the quality will impact frame drop at all. I was under the impression that the frame drop is strictly to my internet related, and bandwidth will worry about is more related to the output of the stream. I may be able to bump it back up to HD. I'll have to play around with that. 320 Simpot says V1, the best we can do is visual approaches. We can do that almost anywhere. Awesome. Yep. Yeah, visual approach. We do those. That's probably our number one ASAP approach is a visual approach. Whenever we go into the sim for recurrent, they talk about the number one unstable approach that we get is guys doing visual approaches because a lot of the times, I'd say probably 70 to 80% of all our approaches are some type of an ILS approach or maybe a GPS approach. And then the visuals just aren't all that common. And when guys get them, they can get in a bad situation pretty quick. So let's take a look, see where we are. We're still following the coastline here. Let's look at the VFR map again. Look at that. We're just paralleling the airway. We're looking good. We're up to Monterey, San Jose. We might have to do... Maybe we'll dip into San Jose. Look at this turbulence. Is this turbulence? Wow. Okay. That's interesting. What's our wind? 2 knots on the tail. What if I bump the control a little bit to stabilize it? Nope, that makes it worse. I feel like I'm in that video. You guys see that video, that 320 that went around and they started rocking back and forth like crazy? What's going on here? Do I have a flight control page modeled? Nope. Alright, well, we're not going to sit in here and watch that. What is going on? Should we try a different flight level? Let's try 320. And we'll try heading 3s. I'll try to change the heading there maybe to restabilize it. I don't know if something got out of whack or what. That seems to have fixed it. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Sal, what's going on, man? Says, yo, haven't properly caught a V1 stream in a while. How we doing? Doing good, Sal. Good to see you here, man. It's been a while. I'm just trying to make sure the internet can handle the stream here and there. You know what? We may just have to accept the fact that the day I schedule a stream, it may work and it may not. I think it all depends on the antenna and the usage on the tower, because the only internet we get out here is a satellite, not satellite, it's a wireless. So essentially we have a dish on the roof. It looks over at an antenna, and that's the only way. Even though my computer is hardwired to the router, the signal coming into the house and leaving the house has to go through there, has to go through dish to tower. So some days it may work, some days it won't. So far, we seem to be doing all right. Knock on wood. Phantom says we got smoky, but nothing to stop planes. Awesome. Is this up and down normal V1? It's normal to find a different altitude when you get into some rough air. A lot of times you'll get you'll change frequencies and you'll hear Delta complaining about the rides and saying which altitudes are smooth. So you have to just listen up. And if everyone's going to 34, you ask the control if you can go up to 34. Sometimes you got to go down, depending on your route of flight too. If you have a long flight, say you're doing a transcon from coast to coast, you may not be able to go down in altitude to get smooth air, because then your fuel burn is going to increase. So you gotta look at all a bunch of different factors. That's where that secondary flight plan really comes in handy when you're doing a long flight and you want to know exactly what your fuel will be. I can set up my secondary flight plan. Let's say I want to do it at 300 and we're filed at 380. I can put it in the secondary. I can put 300 with the exact same route, and I can see what the fuel burn difference will be And that's how we make decisions on changing altitudes for turbulence or weather and whatnot. But yeah, on those long ones, you got to be careful of that fuel burn. That's a gotcha. Do a long flight, yeah, I just want to get out of the rough air. You drop down, all of a sudden you look like you're going to be burning into your reserve fuel. Are you on new update, Swappy? Yes, I am. That is why the airplane is we're basically on the default 320 Neo now. We were going to fly the mod, but because of the update as I launched the sim, it borked the mod. So we will revisit this week. We're going to revisit the mod this week. Maybe tomorrow, we'll see. And then, but definitely this week, I'm going to get the mod back on, and then we'll stream with it. Flying Guitar Sam, are you talking about charted visuals or just getting cleared for the visual but having some sort of back approach? I'm talking about you're flying into Kansas City, you're 10 miles out of the airport, and they say, field in sight, cleared visual. And no charted, nothing. That's the ones where guys tend to get in trouble. Charted visuals are a little bit easier because you have something to reference. It's when you come in at just a weird angle, and you would think that, especially as a GA, when I was flying GA stuff and I was an instructor, or even when I was flying corporate, really, because corporate, you were going into airports without control towers. But you get into the habit in the airlines of getting an approach, getting vector to final, over and over, that those days where you just come in and they say, yeah, clear to land, it can make you not uncomfortable, but you're like, oh, okay, well, I actually have to be a pilot now. So that's just, you tend to get high. I actually had to go around one time because I was so focused on flying a beautiful visual approach, I never slowed down. We're doing 250 at the marker. I'm like, well, I don't think this is going to work. Well, we got to go around. Blockbuster, what's up? He says, I live in Switzerland and visit first class at high school and want to become a pilot. Can you give me tips and what should I do? That's awesome, man. Blockbuster, as far as becoming a pilot in Switzerland, I know there's a lot of different rules and regulations out there in Europe. Maybe 320 Sim Pilot, I'm sure, might have a better idea of the pilot pathway program out there in Europe. It's very different from here in the U.S., and I know you got to do EASA and all that stuff out there. But you're in high school, man. Start young, stay in school, get good grades, and if your dream is to be a pilot, don't give up, man. Don't give up. Keep grinding away. Navy Land Sub Gaming, welcome to Private Pilot, man. I appreciate you joining the channel. Welcome on board, dude. Positive rates for sure. Dougal, he says, V1, I just tried the latest 320NX after the Microsoft update, but still broken. Unfortunate, man. We'll see. Whenever they get a stable mod working, we will do it. If it's this week, I will do it this week. If it takes them a couple days, we'll just revisit. Maybe we'll stick with FS 2020 and do a caravan flight, or maybe do you have fuel burn tables in case the McDo claimed, or McDo columns doesn't work and you have to start calculating manually? Yes. So in our company manuals, we have estimated fuel burns. We actually have cruise altitudes and power settings that you can follow. Anderson says, thanks V1 Sim, but I mean, is this up and down slight movements while stable on a flight? No, it all depends on the air. If the air is stable, look, we're about to overspeed here. We're at 7.9 Mach. Let's go ahead and dial it back to 7.8. And we're going to adjust our heading to 3. How come I can't? There we go. We'll do 3. Oh no. We don't want to do that. We'll do 305 on the heading there. Kind of go up the coast. Let's see what our VFR map is looking at. I think if we can come in, we'll start our descent
subscriber
probably out here over Surfer. Thank you for the subscribe there. Appreciate it, man. So it all depends on the air, man. There's days where you fly and it is just rock solid calm, and then there's days where you do have a little bit of turbulence. So it all depends. It will all depend on that. I don't like this flickering here. We don't like that. That's kind of a cool shot over the tail. Just trying out these interesting wing views here. Uh-oh. Gotta reset. Oh, I love the camera system in the flight sim. Dougal says the Mooney is excellent. Really? That's good news. I will definitely... I watched Q8 Pilot's review on the Mooney, and it looks like I want airplanes that don't have the G1000. So any of you who have flown a real G1000 probably feel the same that I feel. The problem that I have with the G1000 and all these GA airplanes is the G1000 in real life does a lot more stuff than the ones that we have. So we have a very lightly modeled G1000 in Flight Sim 2020. And they literally took that same very lightly modeled system and just copy and pasted it into all the cockpits. And to me, that really hurts the immersion factor and the realism factor. So I would much rather have round gauges and just do pitch and power and fly the airplane like they were originally designed with steam gauges than looking at a fake or very lightly modeled G1000 glass cockpit. Now, I don't have a problem with the good G1000, like TBM 900 and X-Plane has a fantastic G1000. The Pocket Rocket has a fantastic G1000. So that's why I want to get away from the G1000 in Flight Sim. We should do multiplayer sessions with GA. You know what? That sounds like a good idea. Maybe the next flight I'll just join in. We can all fly together on an old freight route I had up here in California. Blockbuster says, would you recommend becoming a military or airline pilot? Hey man, whatever you want to do. Two totally different worlds there. I know a lot of guys that become airline pilots after the military. So if you want to chase military, want to go with the military, then you can do that. Then maybe we retire into the airlines. That's what a lot of guys do here in the States. Oh, the baby's up. How's it going? You got your bear? All right. Wouldn't be a true airline flight or airline experience without some babies crying. What's the best Airbus add-on, especially the flight model? TOLUS, man. TOLUS 319 in X-Plane 11 right now is probably the best. Now, you have Prepared 3D, FS Labs. But I really like what TOLUS has done with the 319. They've been pushing out, it's kind of under the radar now. TOLUS has been pushing out some small updates, the 319, and getting little things working, auto ignition, tweaking the sounds if you don't use BSS. So there's a lot of little things that TOLUS is still working on. Really refining that airplane over there on the X-Plane platform, which I'm actually going to be remastering the professional series, and we will be in the TOLUS. I put a poll up between the 321 and 319. I was hoping the 319 would win. Looks like the 321 is winning, so if you haven't already, go ahead and vote on the community tab which airplane you want to see remaster the professional series. Well, we may do a little bit of both, but it will be in the TOLUS aircraft. Did you start at the regionals? Yes, I did. I actually started pretty traditional. Right, I was a flight student and a flight instructor. Then I flew corporate jets. Then I flew cargo. And then I flew regionals. And then I flew in the airlines. Well, I still fly in the airlines. And I flew, at my regionals, I flew the Embraers. Flew the E-jets, man. Oops, bumped my microphone there, so. Your thoughts on hydrogen aircraft from Airbus? It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff out there that, you know, it's very new. I'd like to see, you know, where it goes. I see the first officer has awoken. Yes, she has. Have you ever flown in Germany using VATSIM? Yes, I did. We did the Euro tour, which, honestly, guys, was one of the... I was looking back, trying to pull myself out of my sadness from our last stream when the internet just tanked out on us. I was looking back at the videos that we did in the Euro tour and how we were all really... everybody just really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. We flew... I believe we flew in... Yeah, we flew into Germany. That was a lot of fun. Then we took the Concorde back across the pond. A lot of fun. Is a 321 just as good as a 319? Yes, but I think what's happened recently is the 319 has received a couple of updates ahead of the 321, such as they've tweaked the engine start times on the 319, speaking for the IAE engines. They've done a lot of tweaking, and I think, I don't know 100% sure, but I think they are doing some stuff in the 319, and then they're eventually going to put it on the 321. So it kind of seems like they kind of go back and forth. The 321 came out, they were updating the 321, and then they're updating the 319 now, and then whatever updates happen, they're going to push the 321. But they are both very good airplanes. The 321 will have an official Neo mod as well with proper Neo fuel burns and Neo engines and all that. Although I'll probably stick Cartas on just because Cartas Neo engines are one of the best engines I've seen in a flight sim. Alright. That still doesn't work, so let's just go... Why are we... Well, we're going to have to figure out our camera position here, guys. Let's go cockpit. And why aren't we resetting to like normal? There we go. Jeez. This camera system, I need to spend more time studying the camera system. How are we looking? Oh boy, we need to turn right and start down. So we're going to come right, heading 325, and we're going to descend and maintain flight level 180. And we're going to vertical speed down at 2,000 feet a minute. And I think I have to do this first and then this. It's weird, so I've noticed this. I have to almost start an open descent and then I can use vertical speed, which is not true to the real airplane, and I don't know if it's different in the Neo mod, but I caught that it won't descend in the real airplane. You can literally just dial in the vertical speed and pull it and start on down. And we're going to transition... Can't change to switch to knots units. Yep, we want knots units. We're gonna go ahead and start on down. 320 Simpon says, what makes you prefer the 319? I only have the 321. I just like the 319, and I think you've flown all three of them in real life as well. But what I really like about the 319 and the 321 in X-Plane is you can really feel the contrast. When you get in the 321, to me, it really flies like a 321. You can feel that it's a bigger airplane. It just seems to have that inertia, and it flies like a 321, I think, in my opinion. And then when you get in the 319, you can really feel the difference. The 319 flies like a 319. It's not canned. It's not a canned flight model. You don't have the same flight model between both airplanes. And Tolis has done a really good job in modeling those dynamics between the 19 and the 21. The 19, you can get it in and out of the small airports. I mean, you can get a really good descent rate going, ripping those speed brakes out. In the 321, you can do the same thing. But the climb performance in the 19 seems to be on par with a real 319. If anything, it may be a little bit, maybe slightly underpowered in the higher flight levels. But I don't know. And visually, I like this. I like the short bus. I visually like looking at that short 319 with IAE engines on there. I just think it looks pretty cool. I love the long 321 with sharklets, but there's just something unique and hot rodish about that short 319 with IAE engines, especially if you want to put sharklets on the 319. But I actually fly it mostly with the wingtip fences, the old school ones. But I do know they have updated some things in the 319 that haven't hit the 321 yet, mostly related to the IAE engine's performance and start times and auto ignitions and little things like that. Now, I'm sure that they will address the 321 too. It's just their release plan. So where are we actually flying? So we're over Monterey. I fell into a stingray tank here in real life in Monterey Aquarium when I was a little kid. Grandfather took me out there. Alright, so we are looking pretty good, actually. We should be able to pick up. I can almost see the bay. Starting to make out the bay there. We're going to go ahead and descend 15,000. Throw terrain mode on. Well, that doesn't help us because the ND doesn't work. So let's just let her come on down. Let's pick up this descent rate. Let's do 2,800 feet a minute. I'd rather get down and fly a little bit lower than overfly the airport and have to hold and come down. Have I flown any of the E-jets at X-Plane? I know I'm jumping back in chat too. I try to sometimes catch the chat as they're going away on the top of the window. But have I flown the E-jets in X-Plane? I did fly one of them, and I immediately Alt F4'd and said I can't do it. They need some work. Well, they're very beautiful, very pretty airplanes, really modeled well on the outside and everything, but as far as the systems logic goes, being typed and having I don't know how many thousands of hours I have in the E-Jets. I couldn't even get it to work. So I just said, I can't do it. I know one of the developers, I can't remember if it was SSG, that said they actually wanted some help and trying to make it a better product. And I think they're probably still working on it, but I've kind of lost touch with that product and the progress on it. The A320X is broke, Harsh. Yes, it is in this update. We are flying essentially default 320. Have I tried the 350? No, I have not. Dougal, you prefer the FFA 320. Really? You still prefer the flight factor over the Tolis birds. Interesting. I like the flight factor 320, I do, but it's at this point, the Tolis McDo is now more advanced than the flight factor McDo. So as far as a realism standpoint, I don't know. It's tough. Flight factor looks you cannot deny the beauty of the flight factor. The 320 is, I mean, awesome. Awesomely modeled as far as colors. What am I saying? Textures. Scooter says I would do unspeakable things to get Tolis to develop an aircraft for FS 2020. Man. The Baby Bus 318 is so cute. I do like the 318 as well. Yes, Flying Guitar Sam, you hit the nail on the head there for me. You love the 320, but wish they would update performance and add IAE variants, even if they use the IAE mod for the textures. I agree, man. The fact that Flight Factor, and I should have known this from the very beginning, when the Flight Factor 320 came out, literally the day it came out, I did some stuff, I did some testing on it. I found a lot of things wrong. I made a post in the forums, I got banned. I got deleted, then I got banned. And I should have just known right there that it was not gonna... I'm gonna keep the descent rate going here. We're gonna come all the way down 10,000. That it was probably not gonna get much better. And they've been promising fix info page for a couple years, and I've kind of just given up hope, really. So we're setting 10,000 feet. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and pick up this descent rate. We're gonna go 2,800. And we're gonna slow back. I don't know why I can't. There we go. There's our knots units. 250 on the speed. Actually, we're gonna come back to 210. 210 is kind of a slippery speed, but let's do that if we can. We're gonna get the speed brake out. Ooh, we flew with it armed the whole flight. Interesting. Cockpit door is open apparently on there. So San Jose is over here. Oakland is over here. And San Fran should be up there. So let's do a completely visual approach. I may have missed it, but did you test out the Airbus side stick from Thrustmaster? No, I haven't, man. I haven't tested out the Thrustmaster stick. More interested in the thrust levers. I may pick those up, but also looking at the honeycomb thrust levers, or throttle levers. I don't know. I don't know which one I like better, man. But as of right now, no. I'm still using the Warthog stick because to me, as far as realism goes on flight control pressures and the way the stick feels, the Warthog stick really feels good. Comparable to the Airbus side stick. Now, of course, if they could just get an Airbus attachment to the Warthog, would be pretty cool. But I didn't really want to switch to the T1600 with a Airbus grip, essentially is what it is. So this airport over here, they actually used to have the Goodyear blimp harbored over there. Some big hangars out there. All right, we're 210. We're descending 14. We're going to come all the way down to 5,000 feet. Let's pick up that descent rate just a tad. I can almost make out San Fran over there. Orthos, I think my Orbix Orthos look better from high altitude than FS 2020 ones do. Higher zoom level. Kartik says it looks like it will take over 3 years to get the FS Labs simulation to Microsoft Flight Sim. I wouldn't imagine, I could believe that. It's getting getting that level of detail into this sim, it's going to take some time. I have no doubt that Flight Sim 2020 will probably be the future platform. But as far as study level airliners, I'm still sticking to X-Plane. But it's all, what's the good part about being a consumer, right? We're just along for the ride. Let them battle it out. Let X-Plane step up the game. The 11.5 Vulcan runs really nice on my rig. What is X-Plane 12 going to have in store? So Let them develop, let them battle it out. That's good for us as a consumer. Jeremy Harvey, what's going on, man? He says this default mod actually has the correct colors for the artificial horizon PFD, but the fly-by-wire mod does not. Interesting. The correct color for the artificial horizon. Let me take a look. I got speed brakes out, we're leveling, and we're adding thrust, so we don't want to do that. Let me correct that. I don't know why... Why did we stop at 10,000? I got... Down, 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 please. Flight director bar? Yeah, so this is correct. We got the... I guess that amber and black. Oh, you're talking about the flight director bar, the green. I'll have to take a look at the mod when I get the mod reinstalled. We may be high here. We'll see. Where's our VFR map at? I wish I could dial in. Does it tell me the is there a frequency for this VOR? I don't even think I could dial it in, huh? I doubt this would be modeled. No, it does not appear it is. So, in the real airplane, there is a way to, in case of a dual FMGC failure like this, you can actually switch this. You see how it says standby/course? You can actually dial in a VOR radial or an ILS course and then flip it over to active, and then you can do just like your traditional follow the VOR navigation. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be modeled here. Yeah, we have no VOR DME or anything. We're just going to take it in visually. We're 7.9 ascending 5,210 knots. Let's come left heading 315. Fly it in over the marshland. This is pretty cool. Gosh, I can't. Is that Moss Landing? Someone will probably know the name of that airport. I cannot remember the name of the airport right now. It's bugging me. I should know this. I spent a lot of time out here. San Jose, downtown San Jose. We did our Cactus group flight into San Jose. That was a lot of fun. Man, that was a lot of fun. I remember that. Dinner time for me, Lamb Chops Dougal. Take care, man. Good to see you, dude. You think you'll be able to butter this with how bad the flight model is? Captain Tom, I'll be happy if the gear comes down, let alone butter. So let's just hope I can get the gear to drop on this airplane. What is the main difference between a normal approach and an RNAV approach? A normal approach has an ILS, so one is land-based and one is GPS-based. The land-based navigation, unless you're doing a WAS approach, but the land-based ILS approach, you can have vertical and lateral navigation, whereas an RNAV, you're going to have limited vertical navigation and then, of course, lateral navigation. But as far as flying it, they're pretty much the same. Jump and run unless there's a study level 7.2 for FS 2020. I'm not switching. I don't blame you there, man. I would love an MD-11 for X-Plane. Hey, it's been in the works for quite some time. I'm flying right over you, Michael Bonga. Awesome, man. Yeah, there's San Francisco out there. So I was actually based out of Oakland and Hayward for a while, flying cargo. Hear those engines spinning up. Let's see what's going on here. Let's go ahead and... this is why I don't like that 210 speed. This actually isn't all that unrealistic here. This is why I don't like 210 and the 320. It's kind of a slippery speed. You're right at, depending on your weight, you're going to be right there above green dot, below green dot. Your VFE extension is sitting there at like 218. So for us, we have to be VFE next minus 10. So technically, I'd have to be at 208 knots to drop flaps 1 here. It's just, and that'll depend on your SOPs and your airline you work for too. But in general, 210 is just kind of a slippery speed. I don't like to fly below green dot. We'll go flaps 1, speed checks. Let's go ahead and descend and maintain 3,000. Vertical speed 1,300 will do. And we'll dial it back to 180 knots. And look at that. Are we... There's the bridges, so SFO is going to be off our left here. We'll come left. Let's see what 305 looks like. I know the runways are 28. I can see some approach lights over there. Not too shabby. Who needs ATC Phantom 320? I don't need no stinking ATC. This looks pretty nice, though, I'm not going to lie. As a content creator, being able to get in any airport and just take off and go and not have to worry about scenery, I'm not going to lie, this is really nice. I can just go from A to B, and as you get down here in lower altitudes, it looks much better than at high altitude. And like we have a little jagged edge mismatch there, but cover that up. Oh yeah. Sounds like Amflight, you know it, man. Amflight 202. Fubar says, I just hope Airbus 2020 gets its bleep together by the time winter is in full effect. It will be hard to use X-Plane when snow is on the ground in real life. I know. I know. Dimitri says, is the FAA now moving to switching to RNP approaches? We do. The RNP are becoming much more popular, Dimitri. I will tell you that. There's a lot of RNP approaches popping up, and it will be the future. RNP will definitely be the future. You'll see RNP and ILS for quite some time. I'm pretty sure all those VORs will eventually be phased out. NDBs, here in the States anyway, when they break, they don't fix them anymore. So RNP will be the future. How you doing now, V1? Miss Jungles, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right now. Things are looking up. I am, I know the stream as far as playing around with the eCam pages and trying to have somewhat of a study level sim have kind of gone out the window, but the fact that the internet has been holding strong and I've been able to hang out with you guys for the better part of an hour, I honestly couldn't be happier right now. I'm the fact that that you guys are here enjoying the stream, be it different than normal, that makes me really happy. It makes me really happy. I'm gonna keep it in autopilot mode because hand flying this airplane is a challenge. We're gonna go on down to 2,000 feet. And you know what? I can't say this for those that are new to the channel and you're trying to find a stable approach. When you're flying the Airbus, if you can meet the 2,000 feet above the touchdown zone at 180 knots with flaps 2, you're going to be in a perfect position to land. So I'm a little fast. I'm going to go flaps 2. We're approaching 2,000 feet above touchdown zone, and we're at 180 knots. So you should be in a stable position to land. And Godspeed. Here we go. Autopilot's coming off, and before I actually touch the stick, I'm just going to get my lights on. I should have turned these on through 10,000. Got distracted. Let's try to land this puppy. I'm going to go ahead and turn the thrust off as well. No, that didn't work. Disconnect auto throttle. I don't need you. We'll turn the flight directors off. LS button's off. We're going to hand fly this sucker all the way in here. And let's drop the gear down. Let's arm the spoilers. I got to talking. We're a little high. So much for a stable approach. If your next minus 10 flaps full, will it even set? I don't think it will set the approach speed because we don't have an F or McDo, so we're just going to set 140 knots. So we'll just roll with that, huh? Flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin crew advised auto thrust is off. ECAM memo is non-existent. Landing gear down and 3 green. Landing checklist complete. Runways in sight. And I feel like I'm stalling almost here. Beautiful day in San Fran. Winds are 2 knots. Nothing on the water there. Having a hard time picking out those pappies. I think I could see 2 lights, barely. A little low. Alright. Default flight model landing tests.
300.
Everybody worried about butter, I'm worried about landing on the pavement. We're all red. We don't want to pull an Asiana here. Let's clear that seawall. There's 2 whites. We're looking good.
100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
Hey. Spoilers! A reverse green, manual braking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to San Francisco. 70 knots. Make that high speed? No. Yes. Yeah, we can make it. Left turn high speed, clear across, 8 left. Taxi to the ramp. Let's do it. We'll keep the lights on. I'll sneak the APU on. Not really supposed to do that as across the runway here. But we're going to keep the airplane fully configured. You don't want to change configuration here, especially in an airport like this where you got close parallels. If you get a clearance like that to cross the other runway, don't worry about reconfiguring. Get the airplane clear of both runways. Get on the safe side and then start to reconfigure the aircraft. That is some real world advice I could give you. Now, if you're holding short, that's another thing, but a lot of times coming into San Fran, you'll get that, you know, cleared across, 28 left, contact ground. I see a 320 Neo tail over here. That's where we're going to park. As far as clearing the runway, make sure your aircraft clears this hold short bar. So right now, we are officially clear. Let's go ahead and get the flaps up. Lights come off here. We'll leave the taxi light on. Turn off, wings come off, strobe lights can come off. APU is spooling up. Into the ramp we go. Hopefully we can find a gate over there. I think we'll take this gate right here on the end. All right, those watching, 327 viewers there. Not bad, not bad. So those watching, I do apologize. The fly-by-wire mod was not working for this update. But we flew the default 320 from LA to San Francisco in heading mode with no McDo. So hit the like button for that. We will definitely revisit the fly-by-wire mod once it is updated with the current update of Microsoft Flight Sim. And I hope you enjoyed today's flight. Alright, we have no marsher, so we're going to cheat. Hey, we're on the line like a professional. And we'll do a southwest stop. Brake set. APU is on. Yes, it is. Engine 2. Engine 1. Seatbelt sign doesn't work. Spool them down. Looking for 5% N1. We're still spooling pretty good. 5% N1, we'll go ahead and turn the beacon light off. Ground services. Tune the ground. Go ahead and connect that jetway so we can deplane.
San Francisco ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray tree 20. Could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Airbus Alpha Sierra
welcome to San Francisco. Wow, I'm just, I'm so happy right now that the stream held up. Looks like we had 1.4% dropped frames, so we dropped 3,500 frames over the course of however long the stream was. 2 hours almost on the money, but wow, you guys hung tight in there. The internet hung tight. Fantastic. I couldn't be happier. Unfortunately, there is no replay mode. There's no replay mode in Flight Sim 2020, but we can go ahead and... Oh, well, that doesn't work. I was gonna play sail, but we need to add a new source so you can actually see the airplane. Hey! All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. I apologize again. Last time I apologized. I've been apologizing a lot, I feel like. Mod didn't work for the update. That's Microsoft's fault, not the fault of the fly-by-wire team. They are doing a fantastic job in making the 320 even an enjoyable experience to fly. XP72, the scenery says, this is what's bringing me back to Microsoft Flight Simulator time and time again. XP, I couldn't disagree with that at all. That is 100% correct. There's something about this platform that draws me to it. As frustrated as I get sometimes with the airliner models, but there is something. If you guys want to see the fly-by-wire mod, I believe X-Plane 1972 is streaming later tonight. I'll probably stop in and say hello. He's a fantastic dude. Thank you, XP, for stopping by the stream. Thank you, Phantom 320. Mrs. Jungles, IMDimitri, Slam Cannon, all the mods, everybody who donated, new members, sponsors. You guys are awesome. You guys rock. I am motivated and ready to continue to bring you guys more content. I hope you will join us next time we get back in the Fly-by-Wire Mod 320. Until then, you guys, keep the silver side up. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya!
San Francisco ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320, could you please send a fuel truck? Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320, a fuel truck is on the road. San Francisco ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320, could you please send the baggage? Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320, we don't know where the baggage is. San Francisco ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320, could you